Hey, what's up guys, Soapss here, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make your very own Sketchbook Chronicles TCG deck. So I know you guys have been picking up booster boxes or maybe just a few packs of cards and you've been like, hey, now I got these cards, what do I do with them, Soapss? So today I'm going to be showing you how to make a deck. It's very simple, just like any other game, but we're going to go into it completely. We're going to break it down for you, and there's a couple different methods that you want to go about doing this. So to get the boring part out of the way first, there's two things you need to know about decks. They're comprised of 20 monster cards and 10 spell cards. So it really doesn't matter what cards you play as long as it's 20 monsters and 10 spells. So that means if you really want to, you can just take your stack of cards, split it up into monsters and spells, and then just shuffle them up and deal yourself 20 and 10 and just roll with it. That's really fun. Back in the day when I was littler I should say, I would go to the store with my dad and we would buy cards because that's what I would do. Trading cards. And I remember opening up a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh! One time. I got like 2 or 3 packs and I opened it up and I was so excited to learn how to play this new game and get some cards for it. And I want to say 8 out of the 10 cards in the pack were cards that I couldn't use in my deck. Like they were archetype specific, or it was I don't remember the terms for Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh god, I'm gonna get smited. There were spell cards that were archetype specific, and then you had a card that had a super long effect that couldn't be summoned unless you had this card, and it was all like interconnecting and like boring for someone who just wanted to play the game and have fun. I know it helps with strategy as the game goes on, but for my game, I wanted that not to be the case. I wanted you guys to be able to get maybe 3 to 5 packs and be able to roll straight from there, be able to play. There is some cards in the game that are type specific, like Piggy Warrior here. It says your opponent must pay 1 elixir to attack any life monster on the field, but that's just ability. You can still use him normally as a 3 elixir monster. You can still play him in any deck, whether you have life cards or not. So that's really what Sketchbook Chronicles, that's what the heart of it is built around. So, method number 1, if you just want to shuffle all your cards together and get yourself a nice randomized Soapss deck, then roll with it. I love it. Method number 2, which is a little bit more organized but not crazy, is my personal favorite method, which is the pick your favorite card and build a deck around it. So, today we're going to be building an ultimate build deck. So, we're going to take this card, we're going to put it aside. We're going to read its ability just to make sure that there's nothing that we might want to use the card with that will help it. So it says Fork of Justice. Whenever this card kills a monster, gain 2 points instead of 1. So that really doesn't have anything to do with any other monsters. We might want some support spell cards to keep this card alive so it can get us some more points. But really, we do want some bills so that we can upgrade him. But besides that, there's not really a lot of cards that need to play into this to make it work. So right off the bat, we're going to be running 2 ultimate bills and 2 bills. This is one of the bills. So many bells. This is one of the ultimate builds that we got from the booster box opening. If you haven't seen that, go check it out, of course. Or if you don't have one, you might want to grab one, of course. But right off the bat, we're going to be running the 2 ultimate bills and the 2 bills, because that's going to allow us to upgrade Bill into Bill. Nice and confusing for the people that don't know the game. But if you don't know, which I believe we talked about this in the rule video, but when you're building a deck, you can have copies of 2 cards at a time. So you can have 2 bills, 2 ultimate bills. The only thing you can't have a double of is spells. So just to keep the game a little bit more balanced, we don't want people just using 5 different spells that are doubled up. That seems a little bit stupid. So you can only use 1. P.S. guys, if you want to just, do your own thing with my game and just go crazy and use like 10 of the same spell, I give you full permission. Have the most fun you can possibly have. I will not restrict you from that. But if you want to do it the OG way, this is how you do it. So now that we have our main card picked out and we have the setup cards required to run it in our deck, I'm going to look through my stack and I'm going to find cards that I might want to play as doubles. Obviously, if you guys don't have doubles of a card, you can't use doubles. But maybe look through your stack and find some cards that you do have doubles in and decide if you want to put them in the deck. So, like I was saying earlier, there's not a lot of cards that are really type specific. So, no one really just makes a all life deck or all death deck. It can be fun to do, just to experiment, maybe try some new cards that you wouldn't normally have played because they're in a different type. And I think that's what I'm going to do for this video. So, today we're going to make a life deck around Ultimate Bill. So, I'm going to run 2 Piggy Warriors because he has a type specific ability, and that'll help us if we want to play him while we have other life cards on the field. I'm also going to do Camel Gunner. He's a good 4 elixir and pretty good just to have him out on the field in a pinch. Then we have Graduate, which has a really strong ability, which is 1 place, gain 1 elixir for every monster on the field. So I'm going to be running 2 of him as well. So now that we have our doubles picked out, that's already 10 of our monster cards out of the way. So now I'm just going to look through my stack and find 10 other cards that I want to use in the deck. So for my singles, I picked out Carl, Eager Beaver, Tabletop Tree, Fur Ninja, Bad Dragon, Glorps, the Muffin Man, Mr. Enlightened, shout out to E1, is not dumb. And then, of course, tabletop plants to go with that tabletop tree, finishing it off with a Bigfoot. So, these 10 cards, they don't really play much into the strategy. These are just cards that I wanted in the deck because they're life types. And tabletop plants and tabletop tree are really going to help us out with their elixir boosts. Eager Beaver is probably one of the most versatile cards in the game because you can play him for any elixir, even 0. Bigfoot is good to just knock out your opponent's really low monsters at the start of the game maybe, or maybe when they're trying to just spam you with cards, you can use Bigfoot to knock them out. Carl is great, just a meme card. I am going to be using Fur Ninja and Bad Dragon to make the deck a little bit more well-rounded, and Bad Dragon's ability is pretty dang good as well. Sympathy, when this card kills an opponent's monster, draw a card. And then my last 3 over here, Mr. Enlightened, he's really strong, but I'm only going to be running 1 copy because I want to have these other cards as well. His ability is when played, place a 1 through 4 elixir monster from your deck or hand to the field for free. And then we have Muffin Man, which is at any time while this card is on the field, you can pay 3 elixir and place the first life monster you find in your deck. So this is another life-specific card, so we definitely got to run him in our deck. And then we have Glorps, which has sacrifice, kill 1 monster on your field to kill one of your opponents. Simple as that. So now that we got our 20 monsters out of the way, we're going to go into our spells. And remember, when picking out your spells, you cannot use doubles. So we just want 10 single spells. Me and Danny made this rule in the game because every single spell is pretty dang good. There's not a lot of spells that are really similar or just... There's not a lot of spells in the game that are really type specific or complicated. They're pretty simple, and a lot of them are very powerful. So you will find yourself when making a deck questioning, do I want this card or do I want this one? I can only have 10, and there's like 25 that you want to use in your deck at once. So the cool thing with that is it does make decks pretty different because in one deck you might have Shadow, and then in a different deck you might have Spicy Potato, and they're all cards that you still want to use in your deck, but you can only use 10, so it dwindles down the number a little bit. So up first for the spells, I know we were talking about earlier that we wanted to keep Ultimate Bill alive as long as possible to get the boost from his ability. So we're going to be running a Hard Hat, which gives him 50 more block, and then a Funky Sword, which is going to give him a little bit more attack just in case the opponent places a stronger monster. Then we got to run Fair Trade for the memes. We're going to use Shadow because Ultimate Bill is a 6 elixir monster, so a lot of decks have 6 elixir monsters to be a big beater. So playing Shadow will allow us to draw out our own Ultimate Bill and hopefully play him and kill the other monster. We're going to use Force again so that we know what's happening and for the memes. The next category is some spells that will help us get rid of monsters on the opponent's field. If they have a really great combo set up and we can't really get rid of it with our Ultimate Bill or any of the cards that we have, we can use things like Ink Spill and Snipper. So I'm going to be adding those 2 to the deck. And then the final 3 are kind of just miscellaneous cards. And I'm going to be adding Campfire Stories, which both players send one monster on the field back to the hand. So if we have like a Carl out and they have a Seaburger, it would make a lot of sense to use this card. Disguise, again, will help keep Ultimate Bill alive. Also, if there's a monster out in the field that we just want to stall a little bit while we gain Elixir, Disguise is another great card for that. And then finally, we have the classic Air Horn. Your opponent can't attack next turn, so that'll just help stall as well. So that's my 30 card deck. We got 20 monsters, we got 10 spells. It's all ready to go. Shuffle that baby up and get right into a game. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Shout out to anyone who's picked up Sketchbook Chronicles off Etsy. Remember, we have the Spring 20 coupon in the description. I'm sure you guys have heard enough of that, so you know what to do. But shout out to anyone who's got cards and is going to make a deck right after this video. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in another video.